Okay, so we've got the new Coolster 125 all built up. Took about 2 hours. It's pretty simple. All you do is put the tires on, bolt up the shocks, put the handlebars on, and I'll put the battery on. So it takes about 2 hours if you have just typical garage tools. So I've got the side-by-side comparison here of the older one to the newer one. This older one was a 2017, this is a 2018, and I kind of want to go over what I've done to it and show you the difference. Right away you can tell the rear end's wider on this one, wider by exactly 4 inches. See the difference there? So those were hub spacers that I got on Amazon. They were 40 bucks, shipped, pretty cool, easy to change out. Makes the quad a little safer for turning, for handling as far as the stance of the quad. So pretty good upgrade, safe upgrade. Something that's, you do it once and you forget about it. Now, between that and this with the shocks, I think those are my two favorite modifications to this machine. As you can tell, the shocks make a huge difference. I mean, this thing it moves like it should. And then here you look at the factory shocks. These are terrible. You might as well not have shocks on it. So I recommend doing that. I got these shocks on Amazon, same with these. They're the same ones, just different colors. They are, I think, 320 millimeter shocks. They make every color. So I got these Amazon, 75 bucks, I think it was. And it's very simple. It comes with all the hardware, new bushings, and you use the same bolts, factory bolts. So that was suspension. I did change the carburetor on this one. So the factory carburetor that came with this one was trash. The machine had, maybe about 3 hours, 4 hours of operating time on the engine, and it just started running like crap. And what it is these carburetors use such small, jets, just like a lawnmower. If you put crap, gas in there, or you don't have a good fuel filter in there, it gets clogged and then it just starts running like crap. So I changed this out. I bought a Nibby 26 millimeter carburetor. Comes with all the jets you need if you need to change it. So I use the 140 jet, and it runs great. And look at this thing, it looks cool for 60 bucks. Get rid of that crap ass one. But the factory one that comes with the newer ones is a little bit different. It looks a little more stout. Put a little more money into it. So, and it actually seems to run better. So I wish I would have kept the factory one from the other quad, but I didn't. I trashed it. But these newer ones, you can actually drop the bowl and clean the jets out if you want to. The other one, you couldn't do that. So I'm gonna change it out either way, but pretty cool upgrade. So if you do decide to go that route with changing the carburetor, like I said, it's 60 bucks for the Nibby carb, and you're gonna have to buy an adapter for the intake manifold. It's a Nibby, it's a Nibby intake adapter, and what it is this carburetor. As you can tell, you got your air filter side here, and this is for your intake side. It's all boot mounted. Well, if you take a look at the factory carbs, they're bolt mounted. So you buy that adapter, you put it on here, and then it comes with a boot, and you boot up. You mount it. The carburetor will kind of rub on the top of the starter. It's no big deal. I took a file and I filed down the bowl a little bit. Either way, it's not bad. I'm picky about stuff like that. What I did was I took one of these bolts off, went to Home Depot, and I got the proper nut size with a lock washer, and then go ahead and get some Loctite to tighten that down. And it makes a pretty good difference. So I'll fire it up for you. Let's see here. This thing runs good. Doesn't really backfire. Runs solid. It's good to go. This one, as you can tell from the sound, a little quieter. That's because I took this cap off and I took a long screwdriver, and you kind of go around the sides, so there's a baffle in there, and I punched it out essentially. That's going to be one of the upgrades I think that really didn't need to, I didn't need to do, but it's louder, it's throatier, the kids like it, it sounds mean, so I'll do the same thing with that one. My next upgrade, I'm going to search around and I want to find a new slip-on exhaust. This one's going to be some, I think it's going to have some fabrication to it for the mounting of it, and then as you can tell, this pipe is actually welded to the muffler. So I'm gonna have to cut it, weld it. So that one's gonna be one of those modifications. I think that I'll do some actual research and sizes and stuff like that. It's just not a bolt-on modification. I did change out the fuel filter on this one as well. That's from AutoZone. It's a $9 one. If you look at the stock one, it's just a cheap Chinese, nasty. I'm gonna change that up too. I do plan on changing the petcock out on these two, and all the fuel lines. The fuel lines are 5/16. Just kind of nasty, cheap fuel line. And I think that is it. Oh, I didn't talk about the chain. So this sprocket that comes off the engine, your main drive sprocket, I believe it's a 13 tooth, and I dropped it down to a 12 tooth, and then I got a different chain. So I upgraded the chain because the factory chain, it looks pretty crappy. Let me look at that thing. Who knows how long that'll last. So here it is over here. It's a 12 tooth, so the factory is 13. 12 tooth, Amazon, I think it was like 10 bucks. The chain itself, I'll leave the link for all these parts, but that was Amazon as well. I think it was like 40 bucks. So it is a big pain in the ass if you don't have a chain breaker, like I don't have one. I had to use a grinder. I measured out the where I needed the chain to be cut, and then you grind down these pins or these rivets and then knock them out, and then you're good to go. So that was probably the hardest modification, but it wasn't hard, if you know what I mean. As long as you have just normal tools. So that's what I've done. Other than stickers and just kind of cosmetic stuff, I do plan on changing the handlebars. I do want to change all of these, the control levers, everything, because these are just real cheap. I just haven't got around to it. Oh, and one thing that I did notice just the other day, so this right here is your battery strap. This is what goes around your battery. They're crap. So here you go. This is what it looks like installed. It goes around, it's soft rubber. And this thing just rotted out. So I don't know if I'm gonna use zip ties or I'm gonna use, I don't know, maybe some type of ratchet strap. I don't know. But other than that, if you have any questions, let me know. I know when I was in the market for these, I looked and there was nothing on the internet for them. So what do I think? I think they're pretty comparable. Once you do some of this stuff, I think this thing would hold its weight with a name brand quad. I really do. It was $600 online, $200 for shipping, so I'm $800 into it, getting it to my garage.